Hey everyone, so I am back with another guest design team project this month for SpareMarbles2012, Diana here on YouTube, and I'm doing some, yet again, Christmas ornaments. I guess I'm going to be doing this up until Christmas. So what I did for this little go around here is I made a couple of Christmas cones for my tree, and then also a little Christmas angel ornament. If you keep watching, you can see how some of this came together. It's not time-lapse, it's just kind of going over what I'm doing as I'm going along to avoid, people having to ask me, questions about it. So I wanted to do this video as an overview for those of you who just wanted to see the projects and really could care less about that. So I'm just going to quickly go through what I did. As usual, I will post all the links down below in the description box for Diana's Artfire store, and for the link to the papers where her YouTube video where she'll show you all the papers, and the other guest designers for this month as well, because they're all creating such beautiful projects with this collection. So I am going to go with this one first. So I had these angel wings ornaments that I had picked up from Hobby Lobby a couple of weeks ago, and I knew I was going to attach something to it. So I decided to, in Photoshop, really explode one of the images here, and I picked this little angel. And I decided to use it kind of like a paper doll. So this is like a paper doll ornament. And I just did a little bit of further embellishing with the little star here. And then I did a seed bead headband in like a luster kind of pearl looking thing. And seed beads, I mean. And then I had this little piece right here that I went ahead and just stickled the heck out of and put it on this little scroll. So it's just embellishing, blowing this image up, printing it out, fussy cutting it, and then further embellishing it. And I decided to use this little bow that, again, I've stickled because it was a white satin. So I sprayed it with the silver spray, and then I went over it with picket fence distress stickles, or just stickles, and just because I wanted that sparkle there. I'm having a hard time finding my words right now. I don't know why. It's just usual for me. Okay, and then I had this silver metallic fabric cording that I attached on here, and I took those jingle bells and dipped them in Snow-Tex, and they don't jingle anymore. They rattle around in there, but you can't hear the jingle like you could on the other piece that I did for my Trezor's Deluxe Design Team project. So I was really surprised by that. So just dipping it in Snow-Tex made it, see, you just, it doesn't jingle like it should. So anyway, so there is that. I did put a Christmas Carole paper on the back, and I had done that before I fussy cut this out. And I think that's pretty much it on this. So this will, hang on my tree very nicely. Then I did my cones, and what I did, just like I said, just keep watching, you'll see it, but I did do a bead cap dangle right here, and so just some fibers. This is the paper I use. It's kind of hard to tell because it's kind of covered up, but this paper is just so beautiful for doing these kind of projects, and cones are perfect at Christmas time, so it was just the natural project to make, I mean, so. Then I put a little scene in here with my little birdie, some rolled music paper, and then tied it with some twine. And then just a little inexpensive spray right here in the background. I really like the way this turned out. I think it's going to be really pretty on a tree. There's the back of it. And then my last cone, it's the same thing, just different color, different bead cap. Nice little dangle here. A wedding applique that I wrapped around. Some braid, Chinese braid. I did this one with a, used the hanger, pink ribbon as a hanger here. Then just some lace I had left over in my stash. I filled these with the white shred and then did my little, this is another spray that I got from Michael's. I bought like 4 or 5 of these because I absolutely love this. So I'm going to be using this a lot in the next 2 to 3 weeks on my projects. So anyway, I love the way these turned out. Diana's papers are just gorgeous. This Christmas collection I absolutely love. So check out her store, and you don't have to even buy the whole collection. You can just get 1 page or 5 pages or whatever, the whole collection. And like I said, I'll talk about that a little bit further if you keep on watching. But thanks for watching, and if you're interested in how this kind of came together, keep watching. I'll see you later. Hey everybody, I am back with another design team, guest design team project for the month of November for Diana, SpareMarbles. She's actually not 2014 here on YouTube, SpareMarbles2012 here on YouTube. And I'm doing a couple projects this month, again incorporating Christmas ornaments, because that is probably what the whole rest of November and December, any projects for me are going to be doing, that is Christmas ornaments. So anyway, I am going to post links down below to Diana's Artfire store and her video where she shows all the pages from this collection, because again, it's another beautiful collection from her this month. And this is a project that's going to come up a little bit later. Yeah, again, I'm doing some more altered domino Christmas ornaments. So I just thought I would show that sheet. That's not what I'm covering right now, but I wanted to show it. Look how pretty that is. So I'm going to do some hanging Christmas ornaments using that, as well as some tags. And this is just one of the 2 sheets that you get. And I printed this to white 110-pound Nina cardstock. This is the cardstock you get from Office Depot or Staples. And it's thick enough that you can do mixed media stuff with it. So that's why I printed it on that. This domino sheet, though, is printed to just regular copy paper, because the thinness is really great for using on dominoes instead of cardstock. This is one of the extras, actually, that came with Diana's. If you buy the whole kit collection, you get 3 printables that you can't purchase. It's only with the kit. This is the one that I've chosen to work with right here. And again, I'm going to be including this with some domino Christmas ornaments. But I did want to show it. I chose to work with the red one because you get 3 colors. There's a cream, and then your traditional Christmas red and Christmas green. So I've chosen red that I'm going to work with. And then these are the others that I'm going to work with this project that I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do. Kind of have an idea, but look at these. So beautiful! And then there's this one. So this is what I'm working with right now, and what I'm going to do is trim this out. And this is what it looks like when you print it. It's printed in portrait, but it's a landscape design, how it comes out. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. I suck at all the technical stuff, which is why I'm so glad Diana does it, because that ain't something I'm ever going to get into. I work on a computer all day with my full-time job, so the last thing I want to do on in my spare time and doing my hobby is be on a computer. That's why I'm not into social media either. I don't get involved in social media like Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, because again, you have to be on a computer to do it, and it's like the last thing I want to be doing when I get home. Okay, let me get off my soapbox now. I am just trimming this out, and I don't know if I'm going to edge this with any distress inks right now. I am trying to figure out if I want to, I'm doing Christmas cones, by the way, for my tree. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to just work this into my project like so, by adhering this down somehow on here. Or if I just want to make my own cone. But if I do that, if I make my own cone, my image isn't going to lay right, because this is going to be all wonky. So right now I'm just trying to work that out and try to figure out what I want to do. So after I've got that figured out, I'll be back. Okay, decided not to use these cones after all. So gonna save those for another project. And I just decided to manipulate my paper to make a cone so that my image down here was where I wanted it to be. So kind of wanted that to be straight. So I just kind of played around with this to get that look. And then what I did is I ran a small width piece of score tape right along here. And what I'm gonna do is get this lined up again where I want it. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I mean, this is totally nothing measured out. It is just flying by the seat of my pants here, and I like crafting that way. I don't like everything to be just totally, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm an imperfect crafter. Okay, so now I've kind of figured out where I want this, and I don't really want there to be any movement once I get this started. So I'm gonna start down here by lifting my score tape, and actually I need a blade. I always have a problem with this. Here we go. So I'm just going to take a blade, and I know you can't see it because I'm off frame now, but I'm just using my craft knife to just pick that up. Still making sure I'm lined up where I want it to be, and I am. Okay, and I'm just going to slowly pull that off and adhere everything down like so, because I want this to stay pretty much where I have it now so that my image is still kind of front and, you know what I'm trying to say. Maybe. And I'm just going to continue to do that. That way I don't have to use my scissors to cut anything. Okay. There we go. So now I have my basic cone shape. And I didn't ink the edges of this because all I'm going to do is, you know, I'll cover this up with some kind of trim, lace, whatever. So I'm not too concerned about that. I just wanted to have this be kind of even so I didn't have, like I said, didn't have to cut anything. So there you go. There's your basic cone shape. And I am not going to cut this to be perfectly round like this kind of a cone. I am going to keep that tapered shape in the back. I like the look, so I'm keeping it like that. And I also didn't want to cut into this print on here because I really like it. So I like the way that that looks in the back. Now, what I am going to do is use a filigree silver bead cap, like so. And I don't even remember where I got this. I ordered this from an eBay seller from China because they have the best prices on this kind of stuff. So, but anyway, so it's a flared filigree bead cap that I'm going to put like so down here at the bottom. And I am going to do another, I'm going to thread through the bottom of this some kind of tassel like I did on my ornaments for Trésors Deluxe. My last project I did for them, Christmas ornaments. Not my last. One of them this month anyway. I did some Christmas ornaments. And I did a bead cap on the bottom of a Christmas ornament that had a dangle, and I'm going to use the exact same technique for doing on my little Christmas cone here. So, I still have to figure out what I'm going to do up here, because I don't know. Maybe I'll spray it with some sprays. I just don't know yet. Still trying to work all that out. I didn't come into this with any kind of notion of how this is going to turn out, except I knew I wanted to do some Christmas cones. So I'm going to grab another paper and do the exact same thing, because I'm going to do 2 cones for this project. And after that's done, I'll be back. Okay, so let me get you caught up with what I've done so far. I used this... Oh, I've got a mess over here. I used this silver lace that I had. And no idea where I got this. It was from an eBay seller, I think. I've had it for a while, so not sure. But anyway, I took that silver lace and I used the point end right here on the inside of my cone. And I also wrapped that around my top of my cone, angling up too, where it goes up to that tapered point right there. And I kind of did it where that V was highlighting my little angel on this print down here. I did not want to cover that up at all. And I love the way that turned out. And further, what I did in here is I applied score tape on the inside of the cone, right at the edge, and took just regular crepe paper here and did kind of a ruffling effect, which is why I use the score tape, because I was able to just take the ruffle, you know, the crepe paper and just ruffle it as I was going. It was so much easier. I first tried hot gluing it, and that wasn't working out for me, so I ripped it all out and started again and did the score tape, and that turned out so much easier. Okay, so then after I did that, I put my wedding applique here. I ran an applique down where that seam was, where it connects the paper together, and just adhered that down. And then I have my little bead cap dangle that I said I was going to do right here. So just some more fibers from my stash and this bead cap. So I really love how this is turning out. So what I'm going to do is punch holes on the sides here and put set eyelets in it. And I'm going to use this trim that I got from Walmart to use as a hanger. Then what? And then I'm going to I think I'm going to use this other piece that I got from Walmart and use that on here with a couple of like little winter white flowers. Something like that anyway. And then I'm going to fill this with paper and top it off with the white shred and further embellish it on the top. So I will be back after all that's done. Okay, so now I'm on to my pink cone, and this is the paper that I used right here. beautiful paper. I have my little image hanging on the side, so when it's hanging on the tree, you will be able to see this little image right here because I'm not going to cover that up. And I kind of didn't go crazy with the trim around this either because, again, I wanted this to be exposed. I didn't want it to be covered up by any dangly trims. So the closest I got was this little scrap left over. I had a scrap piece that was sitting around waiting to be used, so I threw that in here. Now, I used the same silver lace as I did in that previous cone, in the blue one. Used the exact same lace. That was just to keep me from having to do any kind of coloring on the inside on this because I'm using this, you know, tapered shape here. You may not even see this by the time I'm done, but just to cover all bases, I did go ahead and line that. And then what I did is I took this little lace trim scrap and I glued that on the inside and then just kind of draped it over the front as well, and then put a little dab of glue right here so that everything could still kind of like dangle. So anyway, so this is dangling a little bit over my image, long story short, but not so much that it's going to be too noticeable. I did do another, you know, little fiber dangle trim with some, you know, little iridescent fused pearl thing trim, like my technical jargon here. Anyway, so little dangle. This time I used a cone-shaped bead cap and stuck that in there. And then to cover up the seam where the papers met, I did use a applique. This is an applique, wedding applique that I had, of course, gotten from Rosella Zenderly here on YouTube. This is one of her wedding appliques, and I just kind of wrapped it around, you know, just to kind of tie it all together. So what I'm going to do is finish this one up too. I think I'm just going to tie some kind of, this time around, instead of setting eyelets, no, I'm still going to do eyelets. It just makes for a really sturdy, secure, I don't know what I'm trying to say, where whatever you're going to put in here won't rip, because this is paper. So, you know, I'm worried if I don't set an eyelet in it, with constant putting it on a tree and off a tree, it's going to put pressure on the paper with whatever ribbon or whatever the heck I wind up stringing this with. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the eyelets in here and do a little bit further embellishment, maybe a little bit. I don't think I'm going to do any more embellishment on the cone though. I think I just want to leave this as is. But I am going to do something in here, set the eyelets here and string it. So you won't see this until the beginning of the video when I show my blue and this pink cone. And now I'm moving on to my angel ornament. And I had gotten these, I don't know what the heck they are, resin wings from Hobby Lobby. And they were $3.99, but I got them for 50% off, so $2. I got a couple sets of these because I'm such a wing freak. But I went ahead and what I thought I was going to try to do was use one of the angel images from Dai's paper. So what I did is I took one of her images and moved it into my Photoshop software, and then isolated this image and expanded the you know, the view, because this is actually this size right here. And that's how this all started, because I originally just used the image that was cut right from the sheet. Only, yeah, this was the sheet. And I cut that image and I started looking at my wings and I'm like, well, that ain't to scale. So I was like, okay, let me take it to Photoshop. And that's the reason why I love digital papers, because you can manipulate the images to do, you know, work for whatever project you're doing. So that is what I wanted to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut around her, and I'm going to clip off her wings because I already have wings. And I'm just going to fussy cut around this and try to work this on here somehow for the wings. And then I'm going to do some further embellishing maybe with this. because this is pretty darn basic right here, but we'll see. So okay, I'll either be back to go over a little bit more of what I'm doing, or this is just going to be the reveal video at the very beginning.